Good morning, grade 10 learners. It's nice to be with you again. Welcome to another online learning engagement here at Valenzuela Live. I am Teacher Noemi, your virtual teacher for this morning. Let us fill this day with wonderful and interesting activities. For your attendance, just don't forget to type or key in the name of your school and your respective section. Let me begin by reminding you of the following. Number 1, be sure to have your learning packet with you. It will be quite easy to go along today's lesson if you can follow our module. Number 2, jotting down important notes will definitely help you focus and understand today's lesson, so make sure you have your pen and paper with you. Number 3, always observe courtesy and respect. In doing so, we are building a positive digital environment that embraces learning and discovery. Today's episode is a continuation of last week's lesson. This morning, we target to hit the most essential learning competency, develop an annotated bibliography. We will also be aiming to address this subscale. Acknowledge sources by preparing a bibliography. We will also be using Quarter 4, Module 7 of our Learning Pocket, written by Sir Philip Carl Season, Master Teacher of Bignay National High School. Are you ready for today's lesson? Then let's get it rolling. To start with, how about engaging on this activity? Entitled Jumbled Words. I will show you a set of letters which you need to arrange to come up with a meaningful word. Take note that these words are actually connected to our lesson today. Share your answer by posting it in our comment box below. You will be given 5 seconds to think and type down your answer. Are you ready? Let's begin. Number 1, the letters are H, R, U, A, T, and O. What will be your answer?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If your answer is other, you got it right. Number 2, the letters are E, T, I, L, and T. Your 5 seconds starts now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nice! The answer is title. Good job! Now we will have the last one. The letters are P, E, L, H, U, S, B, R, and I. Timer starts now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The answer for this is publisher. You got it correctly. Thank you very much for actively participating, grade 10 learners. I'm sure you're all excited to learn new things for today. Now, going back to all your responses, we have author, title, and publisher. What do you notice to the newly formed words? Can you think of a topic or subject which we can associate with these words? You got it! Those words are associated to bibliography. The word bibliography came from the Greek word biblion and graphia. Biblion means book and graphia means writing. So bibliography is simply the writing of books. Also, a bibliography is not just works cited. It is all the relevant material you drew upon to write the paper the reader holds. Now, let us define bibliography. A bibliography is a list of all the sources you have used, whether reference or not, in the process of researching your work. In general, a bibliography should include the following. Number 1, the author's name. 2, the titles of the works. 3, the names and location of the companies that publish the copies of the sources. 4, the dates your copies were published. 5, the page numbers of your sources. Now the question is, do I need a bibliography? If you read any articles or books in preparing your paper, you need a bibliography or footnotes. If you cite the arguments of critics and supporters, even if you don't name them or quote them directly, you are likely referring the information you read in books or articles as opposed to information you've gathered firsthand, like a news reporter, and so you need a bibliography. If you quote sources and put some of the reference information in the text, you still need a bibliography so the readers can track down the source material for themselves. If you use footnotes to identify the source of your material or the authors of every quote, you do not need a bibliography, unless these are materials to which you do not refer directly, or if you refer to additional sections of the materials you already referenced that also help you reach your conclusions. We basically write bibliography for the following reasons. Number one, to refer to information you read in books or articles. Number two, to track down the source material. Number three, to identify the source or the author of material used. Talking about bibliography, what does APA stands for? Comment your answer below. You got it right! APA stands for American Psychological Association. APA format is the official style of the American Psychological Association, or APA, and is commonly used to cite sources in psychology, education, and the social sciences. The APA style originated in a 1929 article published in Psychological Bulletin that laid out the basic guidelines. The next question is, what is APA bibliography? An APA format bibliography is an alphabetical listing of all sources that might be used to write an academic paper, essay, article, or research paper. Are you still with me? If yes, hit the heart react. So, how to write a bibliographical entry? Writing a bibliographical entry differs from one source to the other. Say for books. Books are the bibliography format with which you're probably most familiar. Books follow this pattern. Author last name, author first name initial, the title, publisher city, publisher, and page numbers. Here's an example. Next is periodicals. Periodicals remove the publisher city and name and add the title of the article and the volume or issue number of the periodical. Notice article titles are put in quotation marks and only the publication title is italicized or underlined. So here's an example. Next is the web versions of printed material. Because web sources are time sensitive, meaning that web content can change day by day, it is important to include the day of retrieval and the URL from which you quoted the material. You include this in a retrieval statement. The format for online versions of printed publications should basically follow the same format as above. Meaning, if you're referencing an online book, you should follow the book format with the addition of the retrieval statement. If you are referencing an online periodical, you should follow the periodical format with the addition of the retrieval statement. Note that you should not break the internet address of the link, even if it requires its own line. Very long URLs, such as those that occur when using an online database, can be shortened by removing the retrieval code. The retrieval code usually consists of a long string of unintelligible letters and numbers following the endpoint HTML or HTML. Remove everything that occurs after that point to shorten. Let us take a look at this example. Okay, I hope I made everything clear to you, my grade 10 learners. Give me a thumbs up if you can follow. Now, have you heard about annotated bibliography? If not, let us watch a short video clip about annotated bibliography.
An annotated bibliography is essentially a beefed-up bibliography. The main difference is that you'd normally complete one before you start writing a research essay. Your course instructor probably has specific instructions for exactly what kind of information about your sources she'd like you to include, or how long each summary should be. So make sure you read over your assignment outline carefully. That said, there are two main ingredients in an annotated bibliography that generally remain the same across the board: the citation of your source and the annotation. The citation's pretty straightforward. It's a record of the source you've chosen in the style that your course instructor has selected. After each citation is an annotation that provides a brief summary of the source. It can assess the source's strengths and weaknesses, outline the main arguments, provide background information about the author, or describe how the source is relevant to your topic. For some of you, the annotated bibliography is a standalone assignment, but for others, it's just one stage in a larger project, and you'll be able to use it as a reference tool for all the sources you want to cite in your assignment. It can remind you why you selected a certain source, why it's relevant, and even whether or not you agreed or disagreed with its main arguments. This is especially handy as you progress in academia and the number of sources you're required to cite grows substantially.
Created using Powtoon.
The short video discusses the difference of a simple bibliography to that of annotated bibliography. Hence, an annotated bibliography is the same as a bibliography with one important difference. In an annotated bibliography, the bibliographic information is followed by a brief description of the content, quality, and usefulness of the source. Let us take a look at this example. Now here is the brief description that completes the annotated bibliography. This article focuses on the role of social capital in responsible leadership. It looks at both the social networks that a leader builds within an organization and the links that a leader creates with external stakeholders. Mac's main aim with this article seems to be to persuade people of the importance of continued research into the abilities that a leader requires and how they can be acquired. So, it is now time to check whether you can easily identify the correct APA format of bibliographical entries. Hit the like button if your answer is A, and the heart react if it is B. You will only be given 10 seconds to answer each item. Are you ready? Let's begin. Okay, the answer is the like button. Let's have number 2. If your answer is the heart react, then you are correct. How about number 3? I bet your answer is the like button. Congrats, you're doing great. Let's have another one. Okay, well, how many answered the heart react? Yes, that's the right answer. Good job. Okay, we are down to the last item. Oh, you got it correctly. The correct answer is the like emoji. Congrats, my dear grade 10 learners. You all deserve a virtual applause. For any questions about today's topic, don't hesitate to let me know your queries because I am more than willing to answer. A minute will be given to you to type in your question, and our teacher moderator will gather them. Our first question is from a virtual learner of Dalandanan National High School. Is APA bibliography in alphabetical order? In APA, your reference list will always go in alphabetical order according to the first piece of information that's different. If you have multiple authors, then look at the first author for each work you are citing. If they have the same first and second author, then you'd go by the third author and so on. Our next question is from Wawampula National High School. What are the parts of an annotated bibliography? The three different parts of an annotated bibliography include the title, annotation, and citation. The title and citation format will vary based on the style you use. The annotation can include a summary, evaluation, or reflection. The third question is from Genti de Leon National High School. How do you format bibliography in APA format? Nice question. Format your bibliography page by following these rules. 1. Use references as the title, centered at the top of the page. 2nd, double space your text. 3rd, include the running head. 4. Include the page number. And 5. Follow the letter by letter alphabetizing method. Thank you so much for actively participating in our question and answer. Let us wrap up today's lesson by remembering the following information in writing a bibliography. 1. The author's name. 2nd, title of the publication and the title of the article if it's magazine or encyclopedia. 3rd, date of publication. 4th, the place of publication of a book. Next is the publishing company of a book, followed by the volume number of a magazine or printed encyclopedia. Lastly, the page numbers. For more information and other queries, your English language teacher would be more than willing to assist you. Before we end, I would like to thank our technical support teacher and teacher moderator for their contribution in making this learning engagement a success. It is a pleasure indeed to have you today in our virtual engagement. I hope you learned a lot and enjoyed our activity. This has been Teacher Noemi, and see you again next time for another episode of Virtual English Class, only here at Valenzuela Live. Keep safe, everyone!